motherfucker. I saw that shit.
What's good, y'all? We live today. We live with Curtis the Black Man.
It's unlimited. It's easier.
Oh, please don't play no music, bro.
It's not music.
Yeah, so we're gonna be interviewing, we're gonna have a chat with Curtis and see how it goes. Hopefully some people are coming on into the chat because I'll interact with y'all. This is only my second live and this is my second guest and I'm still learning. So that's what we're doing today. My man's. So what's been on your heart, man? To let the people know what's been on your heart, man.
And it's like it's more easier if you ask what's going on.
Okay.
Like really, what's going on?
Well,
hearts are easy. Hearts are easily destroyed. They're easily destroyed.
Well,
let's have some fun.
We definitely gonna have some fun. Hold on, I'm scrolling on my Instagram. All right. Yeah, so I think I saw some crazy stuff. Hold on, let's see.
The first 3 months of y'all talking, he won't like you like that. Sorry, sis.
Wait, let me play it again. Oh shit, what happened?
Oh shit.
My bad. What the
Hey
hell?
ladies, if he doesn't buy you a
Already
gift
know.
within the first 3 months of
Already
y'all
know.
talking, he won't like you like that. Sorry, sis. Sadly. Hey ladies.
So did you
if
hear
he
what they said? If he doesn't buy you a gift within what they say, first 3 months or whatever, then he don't like you like that. Basically, you have to buy him stuff right away in the when y'all first start y'all relationship, or he don't like you.
How's that work?
Well, that's what the lady just said. That's all I'm saying. What do you think about that, Kurt?
Dude, that's easy, man. It's the entire system is pretty much. I don't even want to get on the system, and because I say system so that I don't directly attack like certain people. You know what I'm saying? Because in this PC community, politically correct, a lot of fucking people they get ass hurt. They get ass hurt. So I think Mike Tyson said it best. Like people that enjoy platforms such as this one, you're not used to getting punched in the face no more, bro. It's like, oh no, bro, no. You say some certain shit. With every action, there's consequences, bro. There's consequences. Like, come on. Like, I don't get that. So what she's saying is that's her. You just met a person. That's the best way I can put it. You just met a person. This is our new age fucking person, bro. This is our new age woman. And I'll double down on that and say this is our new age black woman. You know what I'm saying? Because I can see him fucking 800 miles a fucking way. It's like, no, bro. It's like, hold on, bro. It's like, but everybody's different. Everybody's different. And see, those kind of things, I can't exactly narrate.
All right, wait. Look, there's a post on Instagram I'm reading. It says, these women in this era don't have real high standards. They have expensive and superficial standards. That's why ain't shit niggas always fool them into relationships, then switch up and show their true colors. What do you think about that?
Switch up and show this shit.
Here, check it out.
One more game.
Check it out. Tell me what you think about that. I'm gonna roll me up one.
Okay. That's fucking true. It's true. The women ain't shit. I don't know how you cut that off, but no, the women ain't shit, bro. No, it's on both of us. Like I was saying, it's on all of us. At the end of the day, It's on all of us. It's on if we have to divide and go back down into color and shit. Come on, man. I don't fucking do color. I don't fucking do color. Crazy as fuck.
Yeah. So, but what do you mean, bro? Break it down for the people out there.
I don't do color, man. I don't do color. It's your mind. You're a human being. You're a fucking human being. At the end of the day, you're a human being. Whoever you believe in, that's where you're gonna die. That's where you're gonna fucking die. So, with that said, as far as the class that I'm having to deal with, well, not technically deal with, but yeah, it's the class that I'm having to deal with.
So what do you mean though? The chicks, the females are a certain class, and it has nothing to do with their race.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's all mental, man. It's you. You deal with what you choose to deal with. It's if you have self-awareness. If you have self-awareness, all the rest of the bullshit is out the window. All bullshit aside. Like if you're aware of yourself, and see, that's where humans break. I know, right? That's where humans break, bro. Like you have self-awareness. Once I understand that you have self-awareness, then everything else that doesn't line up with the universe, let's say it that way. I believe in a higher power, but they've already pandered around and played with God too much. You got motherfuckers coming saying that, I'm an advocate of God, trying to steal people, bro. It's like it's a fucking crazy world. So as far as these goddamn women, or we're still talking black, or are we talking all women?
All women, black women.
See, black women, they've never had a taste of the shit. They've never had a taste of it. So I can honestly, and I'm gonna dive a little bit, but no, fucking no. Fucking no. They forgot everything that our grandmothers have fucking taught. That my mom teaches.
Wait. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Because I haven't talked about this in none of my videos, and I've been avoiding it. But I did talk about it a little bit in my last video about how, the mom, I like to focus on the mom. But Big Mama,
yeah, nigga, you need Big Mama.
Wait, what I'm finna say is, I feel like Big Mama drove us into a ditch. Y'all all be talking about Big Mama this, Big Mama that. Big Mama drove us into a ditch, bro. Look at our community right now, bro. Like, look at the community. Is it not shit?
And you're justified on that thought. You're very justified on that thought. And I unfortunately, although I stand here, I can't contend that. I can't contend that.
Everybody got their opinions. So this is the way I feel.
But see, the thing about it is, with Big Mama, they left everything good and took all the bad from Big Mama. That's what they learned from Big Mama. The lashes, and it's still fucking slavery, bro.
That's my point.
It's
now,
still
Big Mama,
slavery,
Big Mama did what she did. Big Mama did what she could.
Yes,
with the circumstances that she had. Hey, but at the same time, these are slavery times. This is like struggle times. These are extreme times. These attitudes, behaviors don't need to carry on into now. You know what I'm saying? That shit need to be gone. It should have been gone. All of that shit, most of that shit should have been gone. The hog maws, the fucking fat back, the fucking all that shit.
Chitlins.
That shit need to be gone, bro. Like not only that, it's the attitudes that the Big Mama have, of like trying to tell, hard on the dude, sensitive to the female. Like the Big Mama is the reason why our household is the fucking mess, bro.
Now on that,
other than the government,
it's not Big Mama's fault. Big Mama did the best she could because she was backing the black man. You know what I'm saying? She was backing him. Big Mama had that black man. That's what they don't have. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I would agree with that. I mean, as far as
I'm just saying.
She didn't set up our household, is what I'm saying. A lot of the she didn't teach her daughter to to cater to her man and make sure that she keep her man?
No, because she did her job. It's not her job to tell her daughter how she should be. That's what the world is for, dude. We become individuals by going through whatever this is that my creator gave, that your creator gave, whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? So she gave her a structure and they left that. They fucking left it. So as far as leaving that shit, I can't agree with that. I can't fucking agree with that, bro. It's like, no, that's over. That's over. It's just over. That structure, dude. Name me 5 bitches that know one recipe on how to cook. That's just hard. That's hard. That's easy. My grandmother cooked biscuits, bacon, all this. Yeah, you can fry it. But real,
a Big Mama.
Real.
I would say.
I'm talking real recipes, bro. Real like that home to heart.
No, these bitches know how to put shit in the microwave, and that's about it.
That's about it. Exactly. Yeah, you right. Exactly. That's about it.
And that's that. But a man need to be able to cook too. So that's how.
Yeah, I can cook.
Yeah.
That's what's the point. That's what's the point. My bad. So the thing about it is, they want everything. They want everything with bringing nothing to the table.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And see, that's a problem.
That's a
problem. That's why I don't care about throwing them out. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, call the fucking cops. Bitch, my name is on the list.
Oh, all right, Curtis. So tell me, what for the ladies out there, the ones that don't know, you know what I'm saying? What are you looking for in a woman? What are the qualities and what and what turns you off?
Oh, good.
What do you hate?
What I'm looking for in a woman is very easy, man. It's very easy. I mean, I'm not asking for a submissive because I like a woman who understands who she is. I like a woman who understands her mind, and that's one thing that's very hard to find. A woman that understands her own mind is very hard to find here, and I can't lie about that.
Okay.
So,
what else? What don't you like? What bothers you? What would you like to change?
You know,
what would you like to see out here?
It's more or less, if I'm going to demand something, I'm also going to bring something to the table.
Right.
It's exchange.
Right.
But see, a lot of certain women don't have that.
Right.
They don't have that.
They feel like they just take.
Say it like you want to sit there
because I'm cute and pretty
and consume.
The sex is all they're giving you.
Yeah, you want to sit there and fucking consume.
Dude, we both have an even exchange too. By the way,
we're both by the fucking way. Hey, all right, smart. Okay.
No, go on. I'm sorry. I interrupted you, man. My bad. I was just adding commentary.
Barely an inconvenience. So look, seriously, but Chaka, that's what it is, bro. That's what it is. It's like you these women, they think that they can sit there and just consume and consume and consume. And it's like, okay, I'm fucking, and you're only comparing me, and unfortunately, I know this shit. You're comparing me to the rest of the motherfuckers. Like, oh, I'll just fuck and I'll give you, like, dude, it's a whole goddamn circle. Don't fuck with me on that. Like, for real, dude. Like, come on. It's a whole goddamn circle. Y'all go, they can run those games. They can run those. That's easy. And then you
8 felony bonds at the time of the murder. Tonight,
That's
friends of that father are speaking out. Our Jacob Rascone is in Southwest Houston, where that home invasion took place. Jacob, what are people there saying tonight?
They are just horrified at what happened here, of course, and just desperate to get news of arrest. Well, today that news came. Those 2 people arrested on murder charges. One of them, as you pointed out at the time on 8 felony bonds. 29-year-old Tevin Watson is the 127th person, Crime Stopper says, killed in Harris County in the last few years by someone out on multiple felony bonds.
This is the second time in July that we're now talking about a defendant who has been charged with more than 7 felony bonds, charged with murder.
Corithium Phillips, court documents say, has been charged over the years with at least 19 felonies, convicted 5 times, served 2 sentences. He was out on 8 felony bonds, including felon in possession of a weapon and aggravated assault, when police say he and Concetta Rao forced their way into Watson's first-floor apartment, separated him from his 2 sons, and shot him to death.
It simply defies logic to have defendants out on 5, 6, 7, 8 bonds. It's a threat to public safety, and guess what? You're not doing them any favors either.
The bail reform bill.
So, the thing about this is that, like, you know, this is what I was talking about in my other video. All you see on the news is niggas fucking acting an ass, you know? So what do you think about that? What do you guys say about that, Kurt?
First of all, man, dude, if I can speak personally, dude, we got to get you out. Fuck it.
What do you mean?
We're not monetized, so fuck them.
Yeah. But what are you saying?
Bro, we got to stop giving them that energy, man. All bullshit aside. We got to stop giving them that energy. Yeah. Like, nah.
Giving the energy to, like, how? What do you mean?
Bro, any publicity, and we...
Oh, I did? I ain't gonna lie. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yes!
I thought about not showing this because always
any publicity.
Yeah, so I was scrolling last night thinking about the live today and what I was gonna cover, and I ain't gonna lie, but I think it's a point to show that the media is just kind of propaganda, right?
Is that what you are?
What I'm saying is, yes, niggas is out there wilding out, but they are putting it, they're promoting it. You know what I'm saying? They don't promote the niggas out here fucking doing good shit. They promote the niggas out here doing shitty shit. So everybody thinks
people become famous, man.
Exactly. So everybody thinks that niggas is out here fucking just fucking killing and robbing and stealing and shit. But that's just the news, man. Hold on. I got some shit on here. Oh, let's do this. Hold on. Which one is it? It's got to be this one. Is this the one? Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure.
The destruction of the sun.
Okay, yeah, this is the one. So I don't know if you know about this,
Tibetan
bro.
medicine and healing.
But we're gonna check it out together.
Don't feed the cat.
Tibetan medicine and healing has always been crucial to the Buddhist path. So creating a medicine mandala is one way
Check it out,
of
bro.
healing the community, but also healing the environment. The word mandala is actually a Sanskrit term meaning container of essence. It is that sacred circle embodying some sacred essence within. Originally, they would have used powdered stones, powdered gems, things like lapis, malachite, and so on. Today, they use crushed marble and made into sand. Now, the colors are very important because they symbolize different attributes of the deities. But in this particular one that we have here, it is all about the medicine Buddha and healing. And what they create is a heavenly palace all around him. Most of the monks had been in monasteries since the age of about 7. They would have learnt the actual art of painting a mandala in the first instance, but to actually make sand takes about 5 years to train, because it's a very precise art, tapping the sand out of these copper funnels into these intricate geometric designs. The prayers that the monks perform are to do with invoking the presence of the medicine Buddha and inviting the healing power to enter the center of the mandala. And then throughout, when they're actually performing, creating the mandala, they are meditating on that same thought. And for those people who are watching, every grain of sand will give one a blessing. This form of Buddhism is about developing your mind's potential, a way of transforming the mind. So the person who is using this in meditation would imagine themselves as the medicine Buddha in the center, and they would try and break down the barriers of their normal denuded life into the pure, enlightened mind of Buddha. A very important Buddhist belief is the impermanence. They don't believe that death is the end. It's just a passing phase. It's our essence that carries on, but also that you shouldn't be attached to anything. So the idea of the destruction is really putting it to bed, if you like. We return to the elements, so too is the sand mantler return to the elements.
Have you ever seen this before? So they spend a whole bunch of time on making this intricate thing, and then when they're done, they just destroy it. So basically, that's what it's about. So like, all right, let's talk about it for a minute. It's a lot of things going on here. One of the things that's happening is, like, I was trying to explain this to Jay Lethal because he had a lot of questions about it. So it was like, okay, so you are focusing on this, making this art, right? Like all your concentration, because it's super intricate. And then when you're done, you just turn it into trash. And it's this beautiful art that you just made, and you just poured out your whole energy into it. Like, and it takes weeks or whatever to do this, right? And then at the end, they just, and then it's hard for people to understand that, right? And the
it's not hard for people to understand it. People don't want to understand them. I totally gotta do this, man. I'm sorry.
Well, look,
wait. You don't want to fucking understand yourself.
Look.
Understand yourself.
Listen. I'm gonna explain.
I'm gonna say this. Look, I'm gonna say this one time, and this thing. Oh, I'm gonna say it one time, and it's because it's you.
Explain. What are you saying?
Understand yourself first. Then you might be able to see me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. Know thyself, and that's how you're able to see other people, because humans are very okay. The monks, right? Just throw it away. Spending all this time, right?
Okay.
The point of that, I mean, there's a lot going on, but one part of it at the end, when you're throwing it away, is because of your attachment, right? The thing is, we get attached to things, right? You know, maybe
It's
something that we
human
make.
nature, man. Like, what do you just sit your ass here by yourself and just not love anything? Let's look at the bad end of that, and not to try to take it too deep. I understand what we're talking about, but this is
very deep.
Dude, the concept of a fucking mind is fucked. That's the destruction for the day. That's the destruction for my day. It's fucked, bro. It's fucked. Not you. Why? And we ain't building, we ain't doing none of that shit because I owe somebody.
Okay, so the monks.
Why gotta be that deep?
The monks, right? They're trying, and then it's a form of meditation, right? So the thing is, what people don't understand about meditation is it's not praying for something, it's not asking for something.
You are.
It's just being. That exactly. That's what you want to do. You want to try to get as close to just being as you can. So by doing that, what you're doing is you're trying to erase all thought. You're trying to not think about anything at all.
It's not there. Completely
clear your mind. So where there's nothing there. So the thing is,
all right, let me ask you a question, bro. Let me ask you a question. Say I'm a single 36-year-old man. I don't have these things. I know I understand the stress, and this is your channel. You have 100% ambiance, bro. This is your channel. I'm just here. We going somewhere. I don't like the catchphrase, but you should be proud.
what are you saying, bro? I don't get it.
You shit this year. No, see that? There's nothing I can say there, Sean. There's nothing I can say there.
I'm trying to explain the video is, and about like meditation and how you clear your mind and how, they're focusing on making this thing, and then, then they throw it away because when you become attached to something, then that's when you start going to your lower self, right? You want to go to your higher self. how you get to your higher self is by not having attachments to things. You understand? Like, and even if it's something that you created and it's something that's so beautiful, you know, and you would naturally have an attachment to this, but it's a form of prayer to throw it away, because what God has created is the greatest. You can't create anything greater than the creation that God has created already.
No, these are facts.
Right. So when you live your life, you want to not have any attachments to anything. You want to not have any ambitions, really. You don't want because all of these are opportunities for the demons to get on. You know what I'm saying? For them, because they get control of you. You know, so you know, whatever it is, it's like lust, right? It's like pride, it's envy, it's you know. So when you let yourself fall into those, and then that's when the demons come, and then they grab a hold of you, and now you're a zombie robot, and the demon is controlling you, and you walk through your life.
We ain't no more zombies, bro. We don't want no more zombies. You leave me alone.
We don't want zombies.
I
don't want zombies either, bro. I don't want them. You know, the zombie apocalypse has already happened, y'all. That's why.
It's already happened.
That's why my ass. I'll be scared, bro. I ain't a lot. Once I get into large groups, I get nervous as fuck. They scared.
Bro, I knew this shit. Hey man, you leave me the fuck alone. This guy here.
They scared the shit out of me, bro.
Fuck this shit, dog. God damn.
They scared the shit out of me.
I know, bro.
Cause you don't never know what the fuck, bro. You never know what the fuck. From one minute to the next, you never know what the fuck.
Fuck. I know. Fuck.
All right, let's do a little bit of education for y'all. I know it probably gets on your nerves. We gotta do it.
Did you know that race was not always considered a biological or genetic category? So how did we come to understand it that way today? We all have a working definition of race. Whether you kind of understand it, hate it, claim not to see it, or study it, hint, hint, cough, cough, that's me, it still plays a role in all of our daily lives. From the way that people interact to the places they live and stereotypes they face, race is still a determining factor in our social structures, both inside and outside of the U.S. But full disclosure, I do a lot of U.S. history, so this is a U.S.-specific video about race, since these histories operate differently across various contexts. Okay, so let's get started asking, what were some of the earliest definitions of race? Well, before we started thinking of race along the lines of biology, genetics, or phenotype, aka physical appearance, did you know that it was largely considered a category of kinship or group affiliation? In the 16th century, we started to see the use of the word race in English, but it isn't attributed to physical traits or behavior. It meant quite literally that you were all members of the same household, group, or shared a common ancestor. But when did race shift to being less about kinship groups to sounding more complicated than the lyrics to I'm My Own Grandpa? Well, we can see that starting in the colonial era. And that brings us to our second question. Why did we see the shift in the idea of race in the 17th and 18th century? The answer to this question is firmly rooted in two things: the rise of global capitalism that was backed by slavery and colonialism, and a period of theorizations in Europe known as the Enlightenment. When the Spanish began the colonization of the Caribbean and later Latin America after 1492, they looked to native populations to mine silver and gold under brutal working conditions. They set about enslaving, attacking, and murdering those who didn't comply. Thousands of native people died as a result of overwork, genocide, or because they were exposed to new diseases brought over with the Spanish settlers. And when England established its first successful long-term colonies in North America in Virginia in 1607, they looked to mirror this pattern of enslavement with native people, while also seeking copious amounts of silver and gold. But they had limited success with this route because, one, Virginia wasn't exactly rich in gold, and two, native populations were able to resist the efforts of of early settlers through fighting back or escaping and blending into adjacent native groups. English settlers still wanted to make money off of this venture, so they began to look to alternative ways of making Virginia profitable, and that came in the form of tobacco. But a major problem with growing tobacco is that it requires a ton of labor, and the laborers needed the agricultural skills to turn the crop into cash. Because they had already met with sustained resistance from native populations, English settlers looked to other potential labor sources, enslaved Africans and indentured British laborers. There are some important distinctions to make between these two groups. First, indenture was a contractual agreement with fixed terms that varied widely. Some indentured servants were brought to the colonies against their will, either as a punishment or because they were children. Terms of these contracts were often very exploitative, but many came willingly in exchange for their passage to the new colonies. And many of these indentured servants finished the terms of their contracts and began lives as property owners. Enslavement of Africans was an entirely different category of labor from indenture, because 1, slavery was for life, not for a fixed term or a number of years. 2, slaves were not considered human. 3, it was not a contract because it takes 2 consenting humans to enter into a contract. And 4, slave laws were enacted codifying hereditary slavery, meaning that if you were enslaved and had children, then those children would also remain slavery. With the expansion of the system, there was understandably some resistance, even from Europeans. So in order to continue to justify slavery, we start to see the pseudoscience of race emerge that connected physical features, behavior, and legal rights right around the 18th century when colonial use of slaves was expanding. Anthropologist Audrey Smedley notes that scientific ideas about physical appearance and racial difference in the 18th century were largely folk ideas used to justify already existent social norms. So as a result of the desire to perpetuate systems of exploitation, more and more distinctions were races, primarily.
So, speaking of slavery, the video. I'm not. See, this is what I don't like about society. King shock. We gave that back. We gave that back, bro. Before I start calling myself king, now I'm wrong. On this. Once it's monetized, not me. Before I met you. I met Rachel. Dude. Keep going. I'm not gonna say shit about your channel. Keep going.
What are you saying, bro?
I'm saying keep going.
I thought you had something to say.
I did. I just said.
What was it?
I don't know. Might be yours.
All right, let's finish this up.
Primarily the differences of Black people from their white counterparts. This evolution of race became more concretized after social structures of slavery were in place, and not before, and was solidified by the Enlightenment. Which brings us to our third question. How did the Enlightenment impact definitions of race? The Enlightenment was a period of primarily European thought and ideological development that saw the emergence of some key concepts that tie back into today's discussion. There was a push in scientific communities to categorize the natural world using reason and creating elaborate hierarchical systems that emphasize the similarities between different species and subgroups and the inherent differences amongst others. And race was fitted into this same mold. As European theorists looked to classify the world into scientific groupings, physical markers that were already established social norms through enslavement and genocide were ways that they sought to prove that this was the natural order and not a social construction. For example, Thomas Jefferson, who was a proponent of concepts like individual liberty and freedom for white men, or those he considered his peers, also made claims that Black slaves required less sleep than their European counterparts to justify excruciatingly long and inhumane work hours. And Samuel Cartwright, who falsely claimed that drapetomania was a mental defect that caused enslaved Black people to run away from slavery, as if wanting to escape a lifetime of enslavement was illogical. The Enlightenment formulation of history also played a crucial role in the development of social ideologies of race. Kant, Hegel, and other philosophers of their day claimed that certain racial groups stood outside of history or had no history. And this included all groups that they considered non-white or outside of European ideals of modernity. This meant that groups that were devoid of history and culture were inherently less valuable and therefore subordinate to other races, and they were cast as the natural sacrifices of progress. These assumptions were also codified into law in the 18th and 19th century. The first naturalization laws of the United States in 1790 limited naturalized citizenship to free white persons and excluded other groups. Children born of enslaved mothers were said to inherit the legal statuses of their mothers, effectively keeping them in bondage perpetually. And Native Americans were often denied legal property rights, which helped to expedite the process of westward expansion across the North American continent. And anti-miscegenation laws were drafted in order to assure that people from different racial backgrounds did not intermarry or have children in order to protect ideals of racial purity. But these racial categorizations didn't always neatly align with skin tone. In his book, Whiteness of a Different Color, European Immigrants and the Alchemy of Race, historian Matthew Jacobson notes that in the US, white or Caucasian was not always considered a unified race composed of anyone of European descent. Whiteness was often considered exclusive to Anglo-Saxon descendants, while other European groups were broken into different ethnic categories such as Celt, Slavs, Iberics, and Hebrews, which were considered separate races from the 1840s to the early 20th century.
Did y'all hear
but
that?
in the 1920s, when there was a stemming of immigration from Europe, these different races were subsumed into one category called whiteness to shore up a cultural majority against other racial groups and immigrants.
Did y'all
And
hear
this
that?
persisted throughout the 20th century. So how does it all add up? As a marker of kinship, but then we see it shift to become less about familial inheritance and more focused on physical indicators due to the rise of Enlightenment reasoning and labor exploitation. But where does that leave us today? Well, in the past several decades, scholars have noted both an uptick in identifying with your ethnic history, for example, pride in your country or culture of origin, instead of just being white or black, but we've also seen a revival of outdated theories of race being biologically determined and attached to certain traits, considering all people of one physical type as pride. Do you have any other historical points to add to the evolution of race? And how has race been used in both positive and negative contexts throughout history? Definitely be sure to check out the works cited this week, since there was all.
Yeah, so what y'all think about that? Race being a structure just to be used for, the powers that be, basically.
Shut up, man.
What you think about
Leave me
that?
alone. Leave me alone, sir.
It's because you black. That's what.
It probably is. All right, bro. All right.
Curtis the black man.
Okay, so look, dude, race being used as structure and shit like that too. It's like, where are you? Where the fuck are you right now? It's like I've already been taught this shit. Did motherfuckers want to find some shit to connect to? No, dude. Like you can't do that here. You honestly can't. Why? Because like, seriously. Not you.
What are you saying, bro? I'm not hearing you.
Hey. My bad. So.
Yeah, so freaking man, people, they just, it's, I don't know. That's the reason why I'm doing this. I really want to educate people. I want people to be more aware of things, because they get all emotional and they think they know what they're talking about, but they don't know anything. So just take a few minutes to listen and learn something, and then maybe you can have an opinion that's worth a fucking shit. You get what I'm saying? Not you. I'm just saying people in general. Like it's fucking it's
I'm just lost, bro. I'm just lost.
It's just like me.
I didn't think that this conversation would get that deep. I honestly didn't. The podcast did. You got it. We ain't got shit.
Rents are added.
I want people to understand how these things actually affect you. They really do affect you.
No,
it's a real thing. Like,
no shit.
like what's happening right now is you have these corporations. They're buying all of the apartment buildings, all of the houses, all of the townhomes, these corporations, right? And they're trying to make money, right? This is their new way of doing it right now, or whatever. This is, I don't know if it's probably not a new way, but this is what's happening right now, okay? And so the property values are wherever they are, right? So the homeowner or whoever, they have a price of $250,000 for whatever property, right? Like it's a house. And then you got regular people like me and you wanting to buy the house, and it's like $250,000, and we got to go to a bank and get a loan and da-da-da-da-da-da. But then you got these investors that's coming in, and they're saying they're willing to pay $300,000 cash right now today. You don't have to go through a bank. We got the cash. Boom. So, and then they're not planning on, like a regular person is going to move into the house with their family, try to build wealth, save some money. You know what I'm saying? And
because I'm the kind of guy that I am, it's like, hey man, can I ask you? Can I ask you a question?
What's
that? Like for real, you're pissed off about a lot of things.
Exactly, I am.
I know that,
and I think that everyone should be.
You're pissed off about a lot of things.
Well, look, check it. This is something to be pissed off about right here.
Rent prices are rising well past their pre-pandemic levels in multiple U.S. cities. Realtor.com says the median rent last month is up 8% compared to the same time last year. There are also less homes on the rental market. Experts say that's leading to bidding wars. Rents are at a new high in 44 of the U.S.'s largest markets. CBS News Money Watch reporter Irina Ivanova joins me now for more. Irina, great to have you on. So what areas are seeing the biggest increase in rent, and what's the reason for this rise?
Thanks, Lana. So we're seeing some of the highest increases in the smaller cities that are away from the coast, which is a real reversal of what we've seen in the past decade. If you look at data from Realtor.com, the 10 cities with the biggest increases are places like Riverside and San Bernardino, Memphis, Tennessee, Tampa, Phoenix, Sacramento, Cincinnati. These are the coastal metros that have been seeing, very high rent increases before the pandemic. This is really driven by people from those big cities who fled during the pandemic, either for reasons related to COVID or for lifestyle reasons.
No, that's not the reason. The reason is these corporations are buying up all the fucking houses and the apartment buildings. Well, they was owning the apartment buildings before. Most of your apartment buildings are corporate anyways, but what they're doing is they're turning it all into rent houses, right? So we're turning into a whole nation of renters. People not going to be able to buy a house because they can't compete with someone who can come up with $300,000 cash. So what? Fuck it. They're just going to rent the house. So then they're not building no equity. They don't have no, man, I run out of energy because people don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, a lot of motherfuckers don't know what you're talking about, dude. Live.
Breathe.
Yes.
What you think about George Floyd?
Kill him. Oh, he already said it. That's
not what you're supposed to say, bro.
I know.
That's disclosure. I don't agree with this guy. This is Curtis the black man's opinion.
It's very limited.
What's limited?
Deshaun.
What are you saying, bro?
Same thing I've been saying the whole fucking time.
Well, tell me.
King Shaka, hey man, small fuckers awake, man. Don't let them fuck with you like that.
Who is Deshaun then?
I'm right here. I've been there.
Yeah.
So, just fuck.
Destination of home. There was never.
Have fun.
Developing right now, a family is left with many unanswered questions after a man apparently started experiencing a medical episode while at the Chambers County Jail. He died just hours later at a hospital. Our Cian Rhodes is joining us live in Anahuac tonight. Cian, what is the family saying about this?
Well, the family says as far as they knew, Dontrell Coates had no medical issues, and they say they don't understand how this so-called courtesy ride from a deputy ended up with him dead.
Courtesy ride.
Really, he's a big gentle giant.
Cherry Coates still can't believe her son is gone.
It's just like something just took something out of me.
Searching for answers about what happened inside the Chambers County Jail July 14th.
There's something missing there.
He's a very nice fellow.
Chambers County Sheriff Brian Hawthorne says one of his deputies who knew Coates saw him walking and offered to give him a ride home.
He was giving him what we call a courtesy ride.
The sheriff says as part of standard procedure, the deputy had any warrants and found he was wanted on 2 felony warrants to revoke probation on drug charges, which meant the deputy ended up taking Coates to jail instead of his original destination of home.
There was never a problem. There was never a...
They're giving him a courtesy ride. The dude, they saying the cop pulled up on him. He was walking home or whatever the hell. The cop pulls up. Hey, you need a ride? Sure. I'll give you a ride. He gives him a ride, runs his information, finds out he has warrants, takes him to jail. The guy ends up dead. Like, what the fuck? That don't bother y'all out there? Y'all don't feel that?
Bothers the fuck out of me.
He was just walking down the street. They said they were gonna give him a courtesy ride. Courtesy ride? But instead of the courtesy ride home, they gave him a courtesy ride to jail. And he died. He probably had some drugs on him or something, didn't want to catch another case, took the drugs or whatever, and the shit killed him. That's probably what happened. It happens a lot. But that whole situation wouldn't have came about if they hadn't have been like, hey, can I get, you want to ride?
I'm very bad activist. I really like to be activist.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, destroy the rest?
Destroy the rest? What are you saying, bro?
I was asking. Hey, probably.
The death toll from those devastating floods in Western Europe has climbed to more than 180, but it's expected to go much higher. Hit Germany, the government is defending itself against claims that it did not give residents enough warning. CBS's Chris Livesay is in Germany.
As the floodwaters recede, the shock and pain persist. In one of the world's wealthiest nations, advanced infrastructure was no match for Mother Nature.
Streets and roads just completely collapsing. Railroad crossings like this one over here, uprooted like the trees, not to mention the cars twisted on top of each other. This is just a snapshot of the destruction we're seeing across Germany's flood zone, town after town after town.
Officials said it could have been much worse were it not for an early warning system. But resident Grazia Cristoforos says she still had no time to fend for herself or her relatives.
Did the town give you any warning?
On Facebook, yes, on Facebook. But my mother, my father, don't have Facebook. All the people, the old people.
So the water came up to here?
Her brother Mino says he and his wife and children narrowly escaped with their lives.
My son said that I promised him that he don't die.
I'm sorry.
This already live, bro.
Now, many who did receive warning tell us it underestimated just how violent these floods would be, tossing these cars like dice down the road. Now, in this town, like so many others, there's still no electricity, no gas, and no running water. Nora?
Chris Livesay, thank you.
Yeah, there's a running theme with this stuff that I'm showing y'all.
Earlier this year, the leader of a neo-Nazi
people trying to say that the climate change is not real or whatever. And then you can say you can say it's not real all you want to, but then when your car gets swept down the road and some flood that never happened before in your particular area, neighborhood, the thing is, if we keep on not facing reality, then that's what happens. The flood comes. You know what I'm saying? This is the point of all the stuff. Like, I'm all emotional and I'm all crazy and I care too much and I need to chill. Maybe I do. But I'm sure that's the same thing they were saying to Noah.
Oh, he saved everybody. Yes. Oh, well, I mean,
I'm sure that was the same thing they were saying to many people throughout history trying to tell people that, hey, look, it's a boulder coming down the fucking mountain, bro. You're gonna get smushed. We need to party. What's the newest dance, nigga? You don't even know how to do it. Get it. Bro, it's a boulder finna smush you and your family and everything you care about. Nothing you could, you're not gonna be able to do no kind of dances. Fuck you, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Too serious, nigga. Too emotional, nigga. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like the only person that cares, it seems like I'm like, bro, I'm really trying to help you. Like I care. You know, I don't want you to get squished. Like I'm trying to help you, man. Man, fuck you, nigga. I'll shoot you, man. Get the fuck out of here. You help me. You trying to help Ike? You trying to help Ike? How you gonna help Ike? Ike ain't the one that need to help around here. You know what I'm saying? What do you do with niggas like that? What you do, Curtis? What's the answer?
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I really don't. We're going on an hour. I don't know how good this content is today. Hey, we're going to keep getting better for y'all. We're going to keep it moving. I don't know what to say, man. I really don't. I'm out of breath.
I know.
I'm out of breath, bro. I'm out of breath. I wake up out of breath, man. I really do, man. I really do. And it's I don't know what to do. I really don't. That's the reason why, you know, that's the reason why I'm trying to do something, you know. This, you know, I said in the other video, you know, do what you can. So this is me doing what I can.
All right.
So look.
I want this.
When looking at some paintings of Spanish conquistadors in the New World, I would occasionally encounter the portrayal of Africans accompanying the Spaniards. Now, admittedly, this was a tad bit confusing for me, and I just assumed that the African presence alongside the Spanish during this time must have been rare and very few in number. But after doing a little digging, to my surprise, I found that African men had various functions in the New World, the most striking being the fact that throughout the 16th century, thousands of Black men aided the Spanish in their conquest of the Americas as soldiers, auxiliaries, and even commanders. Modern scholars acknowledge them by calling them the Black Conquistadors. Event in history, because the conquest of the Americas, as we all know, was a pretty brutal event that cost the lives of millions of Native people. From that perspective, this history may be a little troubling and triggering. My only intent is to highlight this part of history that I actually had no idea about. I knew Black conquistadors existed in general, but the scale of their participation was very surprising and interesting. Despite the possible triggers of this history, it's important to put this all in context as it relates to African participation. And hopefully I will do a decent job of that in video. I wanted to start with a great quote by scholar Matthew Restall. He wrote a journal article titled Black Conquistadors, Armed Africans in Early Spanish America, from which this video will be based on.
What I'll be telling people,
he writes the following.
We was on both sides.
The broader
the
cultural
context
to the Spanish use of Black fighters in the conquest and subsequent accounts of their roles is the Spanish perception of Africans as natural warriors. This perception is deeply rooted in Iberian and African history, going back to the role played by Black slaves in the Muslim armies of North Africa and the Middle East during the medieval phase of the trade in sub-Saharan Africans, and the Black experience of the Reconquista as armed auxiliaries on both sides of the conflict. I believe this scholar sums up the existence of Black conquistadors very well. If we recall, Spain had recently rid themselves of the Moors in the late 15th century. They saw how Moorish armies conquered their homeland and controlled it for centuries. Moorish armies with Amazigh leadership, most of which having many soldiers or military contingents reinforced by Africans from further south in West Africa. The Spanish apparently never forgot that and sought out the use of the black arm, if you will, via enslavement or service. The first possible indication that people of African descent would be actively involved with the Spanish of the Americas was the participation of Alonso Petro, the pilot of the Nino on the 1492 voyage of Christopher Columbus. Some accounts say that Alonso Petro was actually a mulatto. Aside from that, the most popular Black conquistador is probably Juan Garrido, as he participated in the conquest of Puerto Rico and Cuba. But most of us don't know the truth. The reason we know Juan Garrido is largely because he was just exceptional. He survived all the conquest, and he wrote a letter pretty much asking to reap the benefits of his military career. So the larger question is, who are these Black conquistadors, and how did they come to be? Contrary to popular belief, in the early conquest of the Americas by the Spanish, Africans accompanied them every step of the way. According to Matthew Restall, Black men played a pivotal role in the conquest and pacification of the Americas. Wherever Spaniards set foot in the Americas as members of conquest companies, they were accompanied by Black conquistadors. Africans had a unique dichotomy in early Spanish America. They were present as both voluntary expeditionaries and involuntary colonists. Here's one of the reasons why there were significant numbers of Black conquistadors in the Americas during the 16th century. Even though most Africans came to the Americas as enslaved individuals, the conquest of the Americas was only just in its beginning stages. And so many of these enslaved Africans would find themselves as not just servants, but conscripted soldiers alongside the Spanish to consolidate their rule. Extracurricular work, if you will. Let's think about it from a 16th century Spanish perspective. One, the Spaniards already knew Black men's reputation as Moorish soldiers and warriors.
And the Moors were over here too.
Many of the enslaved African men were war captives and knew warfare in general. And number three, the Africans that actually survived the Middle Passage to make it to the American shores were literally the strongest stock in the creme de la creme, if you will, African men. Basically, the Spanish were not only getting more warriors, but they were getting the LeBrons, Kobe's, and Jordans of African warriors. It would be counterintuitive to not use these African men as armed and unarmed auxiliaries or soldiers. Now, as it concerns the Black men to willingly participate and not rebel, I think Matthew Restall said it best. Indeed, Black conquistadors, by definition, fought alongside Spaniards against indigenous warriors. It was by risking their lives, suffering in the field, protecting Spaniards and killing natives, that Black men were able to improve their circumstances and, if enslaved, fight for their own freedom. Black men who were enslaved tended to acquire their freedom soon after they began fighting alongside Spaniards, if not before. According to Matthew Restall, very few Black conquistadors seem to have remained enslaved after their participation in the conquest. Records of enslaved Africans assisting the Spanish conquistadors in their conquest begin to appear as early as 1502. King Ferdinand repeatedly permitted and encouraged the taking across the Atlantic of Black slaves, who continued to enter the colony in small but steadily growing numbers, and to participate in Spanish expansion in the region. In 1508, Ponce de Leon took armed Africans to help him conquer Puerto Rico, while Diego Velázquez similarly used Black auxiliaries in his conquest of Cuba in 1511 through 1512. Juan Garrido later claimed he participated in both these expeditions. As we can see, the popular Juan Garrido was not the only African conquistador. He was simply one of many. Unfortunately, Spanish conquest accounts tended to ignore African conquistador participation and only mention them when they had died in a notable battle or if they had killed a native ruler. But in certain other circumstances, they were mentioned. Blacks accompanied Gil Gonzalez on his conquest expedition up the Pacific coast of Costa Rica in 1522 and 23. While the Spanish conquerors of Costa Rica in the 1540s, Sanchez de Badajoz and Caballon, respectively brought 9 black slaves and 90 Spaniards and blacks. The name of only one of the black conquistadors in Costa Rica was apparently recorded, Pedro Filippo. We do have the name, however, of another African-born slave who fought in Central America. Juan Bardales participated in the conquest of Panama and Honduras, for which services he was granted his freedom and later a modest pension.
You can't blame him.
Around the 1530s, thousands of the so-called black conquistadors accompanied the Spanish invasion of Peru. As scholars have noted, the historical record is remarkably silent on the roles of black conquistadors in Peru,
They erase
yet
all our
their
history.
presence and large numbers are indisputable. This sort of information is somewhat of a paradigm shift as it concerns the history of Afro-descendant people in the Americas. The history of black conquistadors, from my view, is certainly unexplored and not at all mentioned in any documentary or history book
That's
that I've
something
seen
y'all
or
can
read.
do. Go do your
Also,
research and maybe
it's one thing to be
publish a
silent
book.
on this topic and another to dismiss the black conquistador participation as
Because ain't
insignificant.
nobody doing it.
For example,
It's out there.
one black soldier named Juan Beltran played such a pivotal role in the conquest of Villarica, Chile, that he was appointed commander of the garrison there. One Spanish observer said that after his death, the area became unstable. Black conquistadors even participated in the founding of Cartagena, Colombia, in the 1530s. Rodrigo Quiroga, writing to the king about the campaigns in Chile, commented that blacks often fulfilled functions necessary to the war. During the 1536 siege by Manco Inca of the Pizarro-led forces in Cusco, the colonial authorities in Hispaniola sent to aid them 200 who were very good at fighting. These are roles that simply cannot be downplayed or ignored if we consider proper historical perspectives. Black men were not just conquistadors, but there were some who decided to fight against Spanish expansion and colonialism despite the potential benefit of gaining freedom. Some Africans decided to create their own communities and even become pirates. Studying this topic would be incomplete if we omitted that fact.
It's so much.
But all in all, black conquistadors played a significant role in the conquest and pacification of the Americas.
Except
more by necessity than design,
take that in.
blacks, both free and enslaved, became an integral part of Spanish American garrisons and militias in the 16th century.
You gotta take
By the
that in.
17th century,
nigga,
this
shut up.
fact has been fully accepted by the colonial authorities. Like I mentioned previously, I hope to put the history of black conquistadors in its proper context. Black men during this time, ironically, had better options than their later counterparts
It's too
during
late, bro. It's
colonialism.
live. I told you.
Essentially, they could decide to be a conqueror,
it's live, bro.
potentially
It's gonna
gaining their
automatically
freedom and their dignity, or remain enslaved. Of course, this didn't apply to everyone, and I'm sure it wasn't that simple, but they did have at least some semblance of an option. I find it interesting that the same strategy North Africans used to conquer Spain was the same strategy Spaniards used to conquer the Americas. Anyway, I'm all out, guys. Did you guys know anything about the history of black conquistadors? And if so, do you think they played an important role in the conquest of the Americas? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you like,
What y'all think about that? Heavy, 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 huh? Heavy. What I was saying before, man, is we were on both sides, the good guys and the bad guys, just like everybody else. You cannot keep sanctifying, you can't sanctify a person, you can't sanctify a race. You can't do it. You cannot do it. Black people are good or bad, white people are good or bad. You just can't fucking do it. This person is good or bad, this person is good or bad. You just cannot do it. You cannot do it. You have to look at the nuances, the intricacies of the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? You got to dig through it. We're all good bad guys or bad good guys. It's the truth, man. It's reality. So, like I said, niggas was on the good, niggas was fighting against colonialism and niggas was fighting for colonialism. It happened. We got to take that in. It's a reality. It's a reality. You got to take it in.
You just leave me alone.
It feels like most of y'all out there. I do this all the time. I'll be killing my girlfriend, my daughter, my friends. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm doing these videos. So, you know, this is my outlet now.
Yeah.
So I can stop freaking, killing people's ear all the time. And I can get it out here and hopefully I can be calm the rest of the day. Hopefully. hopefully y'all pray for me. You know what I'm saying? I try it's so hard. I see so much fucking shit that's just retarded that could be easily fixed, and everybody is just like, meh. We all suffering, man. Man, let's fix it, bro. Let's stop bullshitting, man. Let's stop accepting it. Come on, man. Call me crazy. I'm crazy. He cares too much. He's crazy. Yeah, man. I sure saw some of Jay Lethal's fucking live he did last night. That shit was good. You know what? How about some more of the news?
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Researchers have found India's death toll from COVID-19 may be 10 times higher than the country's official tally.
Pushing this variant shit, we might go into another lockdown.
Finds there have been as many as 4.7 million excess deaths in India since the start of the pandemic.
They want to keep
India's official death toll from the pandemic
just
is
keep us scared in the
440,000.
house.
This comes
So they can do whatever the fuck they're doing, bro. They scared of us.
Indonesia
They scared, bro. They
reported
scared we're
over
gonna fucking do
1,300
something,
deaths,
bro.
the highest single day death toll since the start.
They're trying to keep
pandemic.
all y'all in the
But
house.
Public health experts fear the actual toll is far higher. In Japan, the
scared we're
number of
gonna get together
COVID
and do
cases
something.
linked to the Olympic Games has now reached 71. The opening ceremony set for Friday, where COVID cases are at a 6-month high.
Still alive.
In the United States, COVID-19 cases have tripled over the past month as the highly contagious Delta variant rapidly spreads across the country, particularly in areas with low vaccination rates. Cases are now rising in all 50 states. On Monday, President Biden urged everyone
I don't like these guys, bro. I don't like these guys.
Do your thing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like this. Fuck. Hey.
Now.
Oh, you said so.
It's safe. It's free. It's convenient.
Do your
On
little
Monday, the
jiggle.
American
Do your
Academy
jigaboo.
of
Jigaboo
Pediatrics
dance, bro.
recommended
Do it.
all students over the age of 2, as well as teachers and staff, wear masks when they return to school, even if they have been vaccinated. However, many states have already banned school mask mandates. In related news, a federal judge has ruled Indiana University can proceed with its plan to require all students to get vaccinated before returning to campus.
Y'all hear that
Meanwhile,
shit?
Twitter has temporarily suspended Republican Congressmember Marjorie Taylor Greene for posting misinformation about COVID-19 and vaccines.
Y'all better be careful.
Acting Haitian Prime Minister Claude Joseph says he plans to transfer power today to Dr. Ariel Henry, a neurosurgeon who was appointed by President Jovenel Moïse shortly before he was assassinated July 7th. Both Joseph and Henri had claimed power following Moïse's death.
Fucking mess.
Over the weekend, the United States and other
Fucking
members
mess.
of the so-called core group threw its support behind Henri, who will become Haiti's 7th prime minister
Corporations
in 4
benefit
years.
from this mess.
On Monday, State Department
They're making
spokesperson
money.
Ned Price
It's a mess
defended
going
the
on.
Biden
People dying.
administration's
They
intervention.
making
He
money.
was questioned by the Associated Press's Matt Lee.
We are taking the side of the Haitian people. We're taking the side
the guy who was named but hadn't taken office.
We are taking the side of the Haitian people. This is a dialogue that has been ongoing between various Haitian political stakeholders.
There's nobody running shit. Who are you talking to?
And what you had been saying prior to that statement, you were all in support of the acting prime minister. And then all of a sudden on Saturday, you and the other members of the core group came out in support of Mr. Albany.
Matt, we are supporting the inclusive dialogue that
Clearly,
these political
y'all don't know what the fuck.
In news from Peru, the socialist teacher and union leader, Pedro Castillo, has been officially declared the winner of the June 6 presidential election after the right-wing presidential candidate, Keiko Fujimori, failed in her attempt to overturn the results. Castillo won by about 44,000 votes. He spoke to supporters Monday.
We will reject any pretensions of another country's model. We Peruvians can. We Peruvians will.
I need to know what's going on.
Economic development.
That's cool because the native
economic stability.
They have a thing against the native people, and I think he's a native.
I ask that Keiko Fujimori not place barriers in the way, so that we may move forward and make this a government of all Peruvians.
In Iraq, at least 35 people died Monday in an explosion at a market in the Sadr City neighborhood of Baghdad. The market was packed with shoppers preparing for the Eid al-Adha festival. More than 60 people were injured. ISIS claimed responsibility. In Afghanistan, 3 rockets landed near the presidential palace in Kabul earlier today, while Afghan President Ashraf Ghani and other top officials were taking part in outdoor Eid prayers. The incident was aired live.
Crazy video on that shit if y'all check it out. Oh, they're gonna show it. Damn, the niggas just kept praying. That one dude standing in the back is like, wait.
Immediate reports of injuries. The Taliban denied responsibility for the blasts. Ben & Jerry's has announced it will stop selling its ice cream in Israeli settlements in the occupied West Bank, saying it's, quote, inconsistent with our values.
That's good.
Supporters of BDS, the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement, hailed the decision, which comes after years of pressure by groups, including Vermonters for Justice in Palestine. This is Mahmoud Nawaja, coordinator of the Palestinian BDS National Committee.
This announcement is so important and came after years of pressure on the company to end its involvement in the Israeli violation of the international law and our Palestinian rights.
Israel's new foreign minister, Yair Lapid, blasted Ben & Jerry's decision, claiming it was a, quote, disgraceful capitulation to anti-Semitism. Ben & Jerry's ice cream was founded in Vermont by Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield.
They can do whatever they want. It's their company. Cry about it.
A Moroccan court has sentenced independent journalist Omar Radi to 6 years in prison. He was arrested last year on what press freedom advocates call retaliatory charges. For years, Radi has been targeted by Moroccan authorities for his reporting on corruption and human rights.
It's dangerous for reporters, bro. All around the world, y'all need to pay attention. They're killing anybody that tell the truth in a big way.
NSO Group. We'll have more on Pegasus and Omar Radi by speaking to the Secretary General of Amnesty International after headlines.
Y'all don't pay attention.
A Florida man who took part in the January 6th insurrection has been sentenced to 8 months in federal prison. Paul Hodgkins was filmed wearing a Trump 2020 t-shirt and carrying a Trump flag on the floor of the U.S. Senate after Trump supporters attacked the Capitol in an effort to disrupt counting of electoral votes. Hodgkins is the first Capitol rioter convicted of a felony to be sentenced. Federal prosecutors had asked for an 18-month sentence.
18 months?
Meanwhile, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy has recommended 5 Republicans to serve on the Select Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection. All 5 voted against impeaching Trump after the riot. 3 of the Republican lawmakers, Jim Jordan of Ohio, Jim Banks of Indiana, and Troy Nehls of Texas, also voted to overturn the 2020 election. In Oregon, the bootleg fire has grown to over 350,000 acres. It's the largest wildfire in the United States this year and the 3rd largest in the history of Oregon. There are now 80 fires burning in 13 states, including 7 other large fires in Oregon. In Minnesota, authorities arrested Indigenous leader Winona LaDuke and at least 6 other water protectors Monday during a protest at the Shell River against the Enbridge Line 3 tar sands pipeline. In Washington, D.C., over 100 women were arrested Monday outside the Supreme Court during a protest calling for voting rights and economic justice. Those arrested included the Reverend Lucy Harris, co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign, who helped organize the Women's Moral March.
They arrested that lady.
We are all too aware that the extremist politicians who are suppressing and stealing our ability to vote are the same
Y'all need to pay
politicians who deny
attention,
living
please,
wages,
y'all.
refuse to expand health care, exploit immigrants and LGBTQIA people and women. And so we march.
Lena Bloom has made history by becoming the first
voting rights
trans model
stuff
to
is
appear on the
serious.
cover
Y'all should
of
pay
the
attention
Sports
to that.
Illustrated swimsuit issue. On Monday, Bloom tweeted, quote, "This moment heals a lot of pain in the world. We deserve this moment. We've waited millions of years to show up as survivors and be seen as full humans filled with wonder," she said. Meanwhile, Luke Prokop has become the first active player in the National Hockey League to come out as gay. The Nashville Predators drafted the 19-year-old player last year. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm
Amy Goodman. Man, I watch that show like every day because it goes around the world news. It's a world news show, and it does like little tips of stuff around the world. And then with that show, it gives me something to look up. So then I go and because I have like subscriptions to like the media, local media in different places like Haiti or whatever. And then I just go and I look and see what this follow up on the stories or whatever, because they always just give you little tidbits on there. And but it's pretty good. I like it. Hopefully you guys can check that out. Whatever. I just want you guys to be more aware of what's going on in the world. It's gonna help you out. It really is, because things will come and it'll fall in your lap because you're not aware of what's happening around. And y'all can act like it doesn't matter, but it does. And you know what's crazy is what people always want to say. The governments or whatever is what's running the show, but really it's your boss, right? It's your boss. Wherever job you work at, whatever they say, that's what has the most control over your life. The government can say whatever they want to say, and you be like, bleh. When your boss say, come to work on Tuesday, you coming, right? They say it's a meeting on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Guess what? You coming, right? That's the illusion, y'all. They got y'all on this illusion that the government is the ones with the power, but it's these corporations who's running your life. And they're ruling the world. And they don't give a damn about what nation it is or what country it is. These are multinational corporations. They don't give a damn about your race. They don't give a damn about what country you from. They don't give a fuck. They want to turn each and every last one of y'all into a slave, because that's the best way for them to make money. You know what I'm saying? Optimize their freaking income. Optimize their profit. And you look at history and you see the whole reason why the slave trade was because they was trying to make money and they didn't want to pay people. It's real simple, super simple. So imagine these corporations, they keep pushing. They might legalize slavery. Who's to say? Y'all niggas is not even voting anyway. They'll put the shit through the fucking Congress and you wouldn't even fucking know. They're gonna call it Bill BF 9220. Your ass ain't you probably gonna vote for it. You ain't gonna know what it is. They're gonna make it all legalese. They're gonna say this legalese shit. Nigga. Call me crazy, you guys. Call me fucking crazy. That's okay. And I'm okay with it. I really am. Totally fine. This is just my way of getting this shit off of my chest so I can feel better.
What's this from?
Then another angry nigga. Upset black man. Just fucking mad. And that's fine. Call me that. It is what it is. This an outlet for me. I feel better. You feel better? How you feel, man? How you feel? You feel good, man? You feel good? How about y'all out there? You feel good? I feel good. Okay? I feel better. Watch the news. Pay attention. Vote. I don't know. Care. Give a fuck. That's all I'm saying. I love y'all. Peace.